The Lyric Theater production of The Who's Tommy is coming to Lyric's Plaza Theater February 5th through the 21st. Today I'm joined by two of the leads and Broadway performers, Matt Farnsworth, who plays Captain Walker, and Julia Murney, who plays Mrs. Walker. Thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, this is fabulous. Okay, you said actually, a lot of people call it Tommy, not The Who's Tommy. But tell me about it.
All right. Well, I actually did the show. This was my first Broadway show I did, and it was probably one of the most exciting nights of my life because I'm kind of a legit guy, and I was like, how did I get cast in this rocker thing? You know, like. But Tommy's the story of a boy who witnesses kind of a violent set of events that trigger him into the mirror. And the story is of the Walkers and the family trying to get him well throughout the years.
He sort of goes into a catatonic state.
Wow.
Yeah. And
I mean, it's also kind of an allegory for life and it's sort of in a Wizard of Oz sort of way, like finding home within you and all that sort of stuff.
Okay.
That's really simplifying it. Yeah. But
right. Well, we don't want to give away the whole plot, but Tommy kind of becomes a superstar and other things happen, and it's a lot of it is about how we build up heroes and then destroy them. How we do that, I think, is
certainly with celebrity, we do that.
Sure.
We build people up and then tear them down, and it's got a lot of, you can take away from it, I think, whatever you want to take away from it. It's got a lot of great, deep stuff in it.
Okay, now this is actually from one of their albums, The Who's album. Was it 1969, I believe it said? Anyway, so this is their music. This is rock and roll.
Yep. Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. It is rock and roll.
Here comes Oklahoma City. Look out.
And Keith Levinson, our musical director, this time actually, they kind of Broadwayed up the orchestrations, but he took them back to more of the original rock. The Who's
He's
rock.
worked with The Who.
He's great.
And he knows Pete Townsend and knows what he wants and that sort of stuff.
Nice.
He's amazing.
And 21, I believe, OU musical theater students are in this.
Yes.
Yeah.
How fun is that for you guys to work with them?
We love them.
We really
They're
do.
awesome. They're so great. They're so totally in it and gung-ho and willing to try anything.
And talented.
They're so talented.
They're really talented.
Really good.
Like really talented.
Nice.
They're really good.
We're not just saying that.
No, they're
$10.
really good.
I'm just kidding.
No,
It's got to be a
really
great experience for them, obviously, to work with people who are already in the business. I'm sure you're teaching them a lot.
I think it's fun for them.
Well, I just remember when I went to New York when I was 17, and Marin Mazzie came out after Into the Woods, who's a Broadway actress, and talked to us. And I just remember how important that was for me. And I thought, if I ever have any kind of success, I want to make sure that I am able to give that back, because it's really important to remain supportive and optimistic.
And it's been fun to do the show with them. And then Matt's gone. He's an amazing voice teacher as well, and he's been giving them voice lessons. And I'm going out next week, and I'm going to do some master classes with them. So we get to work with them and really beyond just the show.
Yeah.
And that's really fun.
That's fabulous. Okay, tell us about your experiences on Broadway and on television. Okay, so in particular, obviously you have been in Tommy before.
Yeah, Tommy was my first Broadway show that I did. It was probably, like I said, the most exciting night of my life, because I mean, it just, I don't know, that musical, at one point the whole theater turned into a pinball machine. You know, I mean, it was big. And I've done a couple other Broadway shows, and I was on The Soap for a little bit, which was a while.
Okay, you have to tell me. Was it All My Children?
Yeah, no, this is 11 years ago. So, but I was stalking Erica Kane. I was Detective Chris Peterson. That was, of course. But I was on for 2 weeks, and then, but the first week, because I was stalking her, all you saw was the back of my head and my feet. So my friends were all going, "Hey, Matt, the back of your head looks great," on camera. But then I had a whole week of scenes.
Yeah. So was it all that we hope for in a soap opera? Was it so dramatic? Did you have the argument? Did you have the passionate kiss?
Yeah, we had that. We had all that. And
did you kiss Erica Kane?
No, I didn't kiss Erica Kane.
I got so excited.
I actually got beat up in the alley by Erica, Sky, and Janet with their purses. It was kind of pathetic.
I was like, Erica's like this big.
Yeah, because they finally figured out that I was a detective. She thought I was Jonathan Kinder coming back from the grave.
Well, of course. I mean, anybody could make that mistake.
Wouldn't you just jump to that conclusion? I certainly would.
Okay, so tell me about your Broadway experience and Wicked.
I was in Wicked on the tour and on Broadway. I was the Green Witch, and or the Wicked Witch, if you will. I don't think she's wicked. She's just misunderstood. But that's just my own personal thing. And so I got to get painted up every night and then wash it out every night and all that sort of stuff. But it's not as bad as it seems. It actually is. They really have it down to a science, and you just jump in the shower and kind of off it comes. But it was amazing to be part of a show like that. I mean, and I think Tommy, when it was on Broadway, was sort of in this. It's such a the crowds want to see that show, and it's I've done plenty of shows that I personally have really enjoyed doing that haven't been considered what you would call hits.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a bummer, but to suddenly be in a show like Wicked for a year and a half that's a mega corporate musical, and people are so moved by it, and some of them are obsessed by it, and it's kind of wild to be in a show like that.
Which is what's great about Tommy too, because even if you don't like musicals, you can come see this musical and not feel like you're at a musical, because it's rock and roll, it's lights, it's smoke, and great dancing and great singing. So it's not like those typical I'm going out in the morning.
Yeah,
not one of those.
I have a
hokey.
feeling I need to sing about it.
Yeah.
It's not that tight.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of a.
Okay, we've got to get to your TV experience. Sex and the City?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. Okay, how many episodes?
Just one. Just one, but it was a rather important one. Okay. I was on the episode when Samantha, Kim Cattrall's character, meets Smith, who remained her boyfriend through the end of the series. Right. They meet in a raw bar restaurant, and he's the waiter, and she's trying to seduce him, and she realizes that everyone in the section that he's a waiter for is trying to pick him up, and one by one they all leave, and then it's just the two of us. And we have a whole stare off, and she unbuttons her shirt and I unzip my shirt, and we do all this stuff, and then finally she buys me dinner to make me leave.
I love it.
And
wow.
And it was really fun.
Wow.
And that's another thing, to be part of, to do essentially one scene on a TV show that is so, the fans of that show are like Wicked fans of Wicked. Right. You know, they're so obsessive, and I'll walk into an office and I'll have the receptionist say, "May I help you?" "Oh my gosh, you're on Sex and the City." Like, they just, because they're so obsessed with it, and that's kind of crazy.
I bet
really
that's
cool.
fun.
It's totally cool.
I bet that's so fun. Well, I'm so glad you guys came to Oklahoma City to do this. Yeah, now this is your first time in Oklahoma City.
It is.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was my first time. The scariest part for me was landing in the plane, because the winds blow the plane like this. I was like, are we gonna live? Am I gonna get to see Oklahoma City?
I know.
Yeah, we were having a great time.
Yeah. We definitely have wind that sweeps down the plane.
It does.
Yeah, right?
The song does not lie.
Sure.
The song does not lie.
I know. Well, I'm glad you guys are a part of the musical Tommy, The Who's Tommy, obviously. I can't wait. It's going to be a great production, I'm sure, and with some nice experience on stage. So everybody's got to go out and see it. If you want more information, just go to lyrictheaterokc.com. You can find out ticket prices and all the shows and the dates that you can see them. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks for having us.